Hey, what's up guys? Tony here. Just wanted to do a quick video recapping everything that I went through to put this 392 into this Durango. Just give you a little look here how it looks now. Looks pretty good. Factory install, pretty much. Um, Fairly easy install. But I want to talk about, first of all, what it took to, the most difficult part of the whole thing, which was the exhaust itself. So going to the SRT, you're going to have a 3-inch exhaust manifolds, which you can't really see them from up top too well, but they're down in there. And you're going from a 2.5 on a 5.7. So that is an issue. There's just not a pipe that's readily made for that. So I did a couple things. I went to Summit Racing and I found some of the ball socket flanges that go to a 2.5 from a 3-inch, and this is what they look like, and this is the part number, and that flange will fit right up on the manifold. But unfortunately it's not a 3-hole flange, it's 2-hole flange. That's a problem because they're very difficult to find. So what I had was these made, and these are some that didn't quite fit right, but the ones that are on there are just like these. They're cut out of 1/2-inch stainless steel. And I had a buddy of mine at a mechanical shop cut those out in a water jet. Turned out real nice. But once I had these ball flanges bolted up to the manifolds, I had to take it over to the exhaust shop, get them to cut the pipe off in front of my cats, and just weld a new piece of pipe from the flange to the catalytic converter. So that was probably the most difficult thing out of this whole install. The 5.7 and 6.4 of these year models line up pretty well, and even the wiring harness here, this is all 5.7 wiring harness. I use the same wiring harness. I did have to cap off back here on the back side of the intake. There's a billet aluminum plate right there. That is a short runner lockout plate that I got from Modern Muscle Extreme, because the 5.7 wiring harness does not have the wiring for that. The only other things that had to be done on the wiring harness, this wire had to be extended to come around to the throttle body, because of course the 5.7 throttle body sits right here on the front. And then the other wire had to be extended was for this map sensor back here, because on the 5.7 it's turned the other direction. Needed about 2 or 3 inches there. So we extended those wires, good soldering job. Loomed them back up, and it looks pretty nice. My connections here were the same. You have a connection right here and a connection on the bottom of the fuse box that has to be undone. When you're dropping the motor out down by the frame, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there are some grounds down there that have to be unhooked. This big plug has to be unhooked. The battery cable that comes up to your fuse box right here has to be unhooked. And I believe this battery cable had to be unhooked. You drop your AC lines. I have the power steering pump on mine, so I had to disconnect the actual cooler that goes up by the radiator. But the reservoir that's over here, I just took it off and threw it on top of the motor when we dropped it out. The heater lines back here have to be disconnected, and your vacuum lines and all that. And then you disconnect your transmission and you drop your subframe out. It's pretty darn easy. The other thing is the 5.7, this little purge valve I've got mounted back here, is usually on the manifold right over here, and it won't work that way on the 6.4. So I had to reconfigure that a little bit and replumb my vacuum lines going to it. And that's basically all the modifications. It was a real easy, as far as motor swaps go, a real easy swap. So yeah, just wanted to talk about that for a minute. I did have to extend my the one set of the O2 sensor cables because these exhaust manifolds actually go back a little further than the 5.7. They stick out about 3 inches beyond the block, and the 5.7s are pretty much even with the block. And you have to shorten the pipe somewhere, so we shortened it behind the catalytic converters instead of in front. So I extended the wire on the back set of the O2 sensors. A little kit from Summit, cost me about $60. And then the front ones I moved to the actual exhaust manifolds, as you can see right there. So that was easy. But anyway, went back with the factory air intake for the 6.4. And that was pretty much it. I mean, I did put the motor mounts for the 6.4 in here, the isolators, because the part number was different from a 5.7 to a 6.4. So I wanted to make sure they were heavy duty enough. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of parts involved. Straightforward swap. All my accessories swapped over, everything. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments section. And I'm also on the DodgeDurango.net forum. Got a thread on there if you want to check me out on there too. So y'all have a good one.